Is God supplying your needs, or are you trying to supply your own needs in hopes that God will see it and think that you're better because you did it by yourself? Well, guess what? If you don't rely on God, you're never going to get anywhere in life. So the best thing to do is rely on God. You might think that you're able to do things all by yourself, but the truth about it is you will fail unless you rely on someone to get you through it. And sometimes we rely on other people to get us through it because we think we need those people in order to make us content. But the truth about it is the only person we've ever needed in our lives is God himself, the person, the God, the being, the Trinity. Everything we need is in God's hands, and we often just forget it. We try to act like it's not there. He's not there. We don't need him. We can do our own career. We can do our own life by ourselves. But God is the reason we have gotten this far, whether we want to admit that or not. He is our needs supplier. He fills in the gap. A person does not fill in the gap. What you buy online does not fill in the gap. A career advantage does not fill in the gap. God is the only one that's ever going to fill in that gap. You are going to be discontent. You are going to be lonely if God is not the center of your life. I've heard a lot of people say that another person is going to satisfy your needs, and I'm sure all the married people listening to this think that is a false statement. People are not perfect, therefore we shouldn't rely on them to complete us, because at the end of the day we are all broken people, and they're two broken people getting together. It doesn't matter what you think about your current situation, there are always going to be problems coming up and arising, because that is how life works. We are not perfect people, and because we are not perfect people, our lives are not going to be perfect. If we try to do something on our own strength, we are often going to fail. And if we somehow succeed and take that pride that we have in ourselves and magnify ourselves, it's going to crash and burn at some point, and it is not going to fill you. Nothing you do on your own strength is ever going to fill you for a lifetime. It might fill you for a second, but that's a second in comparison to forever. With God on your side, you can't take credit for what it is that you do, because God gives you the strength to do it. And if you put your dependence on God, you're never going to feel like you're out of control, because God is in control. You might feel like your life is out of control, but with God by your side, your life will never be out of control, because He is holding every single decision that you make. We know Philippians 4:13 pretty well. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But do we know Philippians 4:19? Philippians 4:19 says, "And my God shall supply all your need according to His riches and glory by Jesus Christ." We are not our need giver. Our job is not our need giver. God is the reason we have what we have now. And if we take credit for all of the things that are progressing in our lives, we are never going to understand the true goodness of God, because God is good and He is for our good. And if we would just take the time, instead of trying to fill the gap like an Oreo or something with things that we think we need God to fill in that gap. I know it's a terrible illustration, but He is the cream to our Oreo. We can't have two separate things. We need to have something holding us together at all times. God should be the center of our lives. If you don't like Oreos, think of a Nutter Butter. I don't know. Just know that God needs to be the center of your life. It doesn't matter how much you think your talent is going to get you by in life. It doesn't matter how much money you think you have. God can take it like that if He feels like you are not relying on Him in order to accomplish the things that you are accomplishing in life. Be grateful for every single thing that you have before it is taken away. Most of the time, nothing is stagnant. The only thing that is stagnant is God Himself. If you are married, one day your spouse will die. That is just the truth about it. You're probably not going to die at the same time, and you are going to have to rely on God for all of the things that spouse was giving you that you were relying on, because God is the only thing that is constant in our lives. If you're single, know that God is the only thing that you need in life to get you where you need to go. He is our rock and our firm foundation. If we don't rely on Him, that gap will never be filled unless we put our full trust in what He wants for us.